Did you know that thousands of eligible Kansans miss out on SNAP benefits every single year simply because they don't know how to apply? Or, maybe they think the process is just way too complicated. Well, don't let that be you.
Okay, so let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to completely demystify the Kansas SNAP application process from start to finish. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to navigate the online system so you can get the help you or your family need, completely without the headache. We're going to break this down into 6 logical steps. First, what exactly is Kansas SNAP? Then, preparing your documents, the online application process itself, avoiding common mistakes and getting help, what happens after you submit, and finally, some FAQs and additional resources.
All right, starting off with Section 1, what is Kansas SNAP?
So if you're approved, you don't just get a paper check in the mail. What you actually get is a Kansas benefits card. It's an EBT card that functions exactly like a regular debit card to help you pay for approved groceries. It is literally a critical financial tool designed to help older adults, people with disabilities, and working families keep food on the table. Now, people often get really confused about the financial side and just assume they make way too much money to qualify. But Kansas actually looks at 2 different numbers. For a family of 4, the gross income limit, that's everything you make before taxes, is 130% of the federal poverty level, which is roughly $40,560 a year. But here's the kicker. Your net income, which must be at or below 100% of the poverty level, is what they calculate after allowed deductions, things like rent, utilities, and childcare. So even if your gross income seems a bit high, your net income might absolutely still qualify you.
Moving right along to Section 2, preparing your documents. You're definitely going to want to get these items ready before you sit down at the computer. Having your ID, social security numbers for everyone applying, recent pay stubs, housing costs, and other proofs ready will make the online application so much smoother. It generally takes about 30 to 60 minutes to fill everything out, and having these documents right next to you means you won't get timed out while frantically digging through your filing cabinet. Also, a really important note, if you're over 60 or disabled, you can actually deduct ongoing medical costs, so absolutely have those medical bills handy. Now, a super crucial requirement to be aware of here is the HOPE Act. If you're an able-bodied adult without dependents, often called ABAWDs, between the ages of 18 and 54, you generally have to work at least 80 hours a month or participate in an approved work program. If you don't, your benefits could be limited to just 3 months out of every 3 years. You also can't just voluntarily quit a job of at least 30 hours a week and still expect to receive benefits. So keep those work rules in mind.
Okay, let's get into Section 3, the online application process itself.
When you go to the DCF website and hit Apply for Services, the process breaks down like this. Step 1 is creating your secure profile using your date of birth and social security number. Step 2 is setting up 2-step authentication, so make sure you have your phone or email close by to get that security code. Step 3 is where you enter all those documents we just gathered, all your household info and finances. And finally, Step 4. When you choose which program to apply for, you need to make sure you specifically select the icon with the plate, fork, and knife to officially apply for food assistance. It's a little detail, but it's super important.
Now, a major pitfall to avoid during Step 3 is leaving people off your application. The household composition rule is incredibly strict. You absolutely must list everyone living in your home. Even if your 20-year-old child buys their own groceries and cooks their own meals, if they live under your roof, state rules require them to be included in your SNAP household. Being completely transparent here prevents annoying delays or outright denials.
Which brings us to Section 4, avoiding mistakes and getting help.
If you decide you'd rather not tackle the application entirely by yourself online, the Harvester SNAP helpline is an absolute game changer. They have dedicated folks ready to help. You can even just text the word SNAP to 1-785-333-9233 for a really quick screening to see if you qualify before you even go through the whole process. How easy is that? And if you do choose to apply online but get locked out of your account, or maybe you just forget your password, it happens to the best of us, right? You need to know who to call. The portal help desk at 1-877-782-7358 is going to be your best friend for any technical hurdles. The general support line can help you out with specific policy questions, and once you actually have your card, the cardholder support line is who you'll call if it ever gets lost or stolen.
All right, Section 5, after you submit.
So after day 1, the waiting game begins. Keep a close eye on your phone because a DCF caseworker is going to call you for an interview. Now don't panic, it's not a test, they just need to quickly verify your information. Most applications take up to 30 days to process. However, if your income and liquid resources are extremely low, for instance, if your monthly income and cash on hand are less than your rent and utilities combined, you might actually qualify for expedited benefits, which gets you access to food within just 7 days.
Once you're approved, your Kansas Benefits card arrives right in the mail. And moving forward, it reloads automatically at 6 a.m. on a specific day each month. This is entirely based on the first letter of your last name, and it happens completely regardless of weekends or holidays. So, for example, if your last name is Davis, your benefits are always going to be there on the 2nd of the month by 6 a.m. sharp.
Finally, Section 6, FAQs and Additional Resources.
You probably have a few specific questions, right? Well, Kansas handles specific assets and incomes in some pretty unique ways. For instance, they allow one exempt motor vehicle regardless of its value. That is a huge relief for families who desperately need a reliable car to get to work. As for child support, yes, any child support you receive does count as income. But any child support you legally pay out can actually be deducted from your income. This lowers your net income and might just be the thing that helps you qualify.
You also really need to remember that this program requires some ongoing maintenance. SNAP benefits are not forever. To keep this vital financial tool active, you absolutely have to complete your renewal process, usually every 6 to 12 months, and report any major changes in your income or your household size. If you ignore those renewal notices, your benefits will absolutely stop.
As we wrap up this explainer, please keep in mind that government policies, income limits, and poverty guidelines can shift year by year. Always check directly with the Kansas DCF for the absolute latest guidelines. Do not let a little confusion keep you from claiming the assistance you deserve. Knowing how this system works is power, for sure, but taking action is what actually puts food on the table. So, what are you waiting for? Are you ready to take that step today?